కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం వసూలు చేసే సెస్ సర్ఛార్జీల నుంచి రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వాలకు వాటా ఇచ్చే అవకాశం లేదని 15వ ఆర్థిక సంఘం చైర్మన్ ఎన్కే సింగ్ స్పష్టం చేశారు. కేంద్రం వసూలు చేసే పన్నులు మాత్రమే రాష్ట్రాలకు వాటా ఉంటుందని, దీనిపై సిఫార్సులు చేసే అధికారం ఒక్కటే ఆర్థిక సంఘాలకు ఉందని తెలిపారు. సెస్ సర్ఛార్జీల వ్యవహారం వీటి పరిధిలోకి రాదని పేర్కొన్నారు. పన్నుల శాతాన్ని పెంచకుండా కేంద్రం సెస్ సర్ఛార్జీలను పెంచుతూ ఆ ఆదాయాన్ని తన వద్దే ఉంచుకుంటోందని రాష్ట్రాలు ఆర్థిక సంఘానికి ఫిర్యాదు చేశాయి. వీటన్నింటినీ పరిశీలించి తుది నివేదికను కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వానికి సమర్పించారు. నేపథ్యంలో ఎన్కే సింగ్ ఈటీవీ భారత్ కు ప్రత్యేక ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇచ్చారు.
Welcome to ETV Bharat. How challenging it was for you to divide the money between the center and states and between the states themselves?
All finance commissions from their very inception, from 1951 onwards, have faced a similar challenge. All finance commissions have to, under the Constitution, discharge the two critical responsibilities of one, dividing the resources, that is the net divisible pool between the central government and the states, and the second, that having decided how much will be given to the states, in addition, after the constitutional amendment, to also devolve large resources, namely urban local bodies, to municipalities and to panchayats. And the last one, for the disaster management, after the Disaster Management Act of 2005, for the National Disaster Management Fund and for the State Disaster Management Fund, was using the population census data of 1971. For 40 years, the 1971 data was being used. We were the first one to be asked by the president to use the census data of 2011. We are one commission which has given recommendations or awards for 6 years. One, the current year, in the first report, which we gave for 2021, and thereafter for full 5 years.
State representatives in past continuous demand that it should be 50-50 between the center and the state. So how difficult it is, and states complain that why center has more money despite spending less.
Finance Commission, present one and all previous ones, when visiting all the states, would not have received a similar request that please increase our outgo, please increase our devolution from the divisible pool. Of the increase from 32 to 42, appropriate in our judgment, looking at the fiscal pressures of the states, and that raising it upwards at a time like this would be also not be fair to the demands and the fiscal pressures of the central government. Now, in our calculation, the gross revenue receipts based on our model for the 5-year period is 153.4 lakh crore. Take out of this are things which are not divisible at all. The dividend of the RBI, the dividend from the public sector undertakings, the user charges, the interest realization from outstanding loans of the central government. And this 153.4 lakh crores comes to what is known as a gross tax revenue, which was 135.4 lakh. Out of this, the cess and surcharge and the cost of collection and the divisible pool then comes to 103 lakh crores for the 5-year period. The 41% which we have given out of the divisible pool comes to about 42 lakh. Plus we gave a recommendation 3 of 10.5 lakh crores by way of grants. We have given a revenue deficit grant. We have given for disaster management 1.22 lakh crores. So if you add the 10 lakh crores to the 42 lakh, significantly more than the 41%.
In the last 10 years, it has constantly gone up in the total revenues collected by the center. And since cess and surcharges don't form of the part of the divisible pool, so they have been deprived of their share in this thing.
Cess and surcharge as a percentage of the GTR or the gross tax revenue in 2010 and 11 was 10.4 of 2021 to 19.9%, which is almost close to 90% increase. The issue of cess and surcharge is outside the ambit of the Finance Commission. After the 80th constitutional amendment in the year 2000, specifically excludes the cess and surcharge from the calculation of the divisible pool. This is a subject not for Finance Commission, but for the Parliament to consider.
Southern states opposed inclusion of 2011 population in your terms of reference. So how did you strike a balance, or how did you persuade them?
Many states which felt that the use of the population figure or census of 2011 than 1971 would adversely affect them. We did it by three important instruments. First, instead of we reduced the weightage to population, but we introduced a new component of demographic management, and we have assigned the weight of 12.5% to demographic management. This criteria directly is designed to reward and recognize the efforts of the states, which have brought their population to better management through investments in health, investments in education, girl-child education, and improved governance. In addition, to reward such efficient states, we introduce another criteria, namely tax and fiscal efforts, and have given the weightage of 2.5% to that. So when the two added together, really add to about 15% weightage to reward efficiency and better governance. And that was the formula by which we sought to balance out.